remember my very first JV girls scrimmage at Irvine High School. And I forget who I know my partner, I don't remember his name. He's saying to me like, is my hand up? I'm going, what the hell are you talking about? And Louie's sitting in the top row in the corner yelling, John, no AT&T calls. And then he would say, run the volleyball lines. So, you know, this is, if you don't like hearing it, he's the guy that taught me this. You know, and the other, I remember he picked me up once and took me to a scrimmage to Saddleback High School, and got to work with Richard Porter and his wife. And then finally I got to work a game with him at the state tournament many years ago, a semifinal girls game. And I think that was a TV game, and I didn't have a call till like a minute 17 left in the third quarter. Nothing. And then I started blowing just to get some TV time. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Louie. I sent him an outline, which you guys have all seen. He's going to talk from the cuff. He's got some material. We're recording. And he's forgotten more than this whole group and me combined. He's ref at the highest level, pro, all the way down to the mini.
59 years.
Yeah.
Man, how old I am.
Hey, no. You missed the introduction.
Hey, sir.
What be careful.
You're welcome.
That's Louie and that's Kaleo.
I can help you parents, the same thing.
Oh, okay.
This is Kaleo. He's one of our new officials. MIL Player of the Year many years ago.
Paperwork I just gave you was just some odds and ends things that popped up, and I hand the same thing out to parents when I have a parents clinic. Not the kids, for the parents. And we go over things that they normally yelling at you about and everything else. So these are just 20 some odd things that happens that they always yell about anyway. So I put a clinic on every now and then for the recreation for the parents, not for the kids. So I go over what I gotta go over and all this, and it's simple. So take a look at it when you get chance, and you'll understand most of it because you know you've been through it. Okay? Because that one thing they always say on a high dribble, they say, how come you're not calling a high dribble? He's above the ball. Has nothing to do with how high. Your hand has to have light on the palm of your hands to be a carry. It's not a carry if you're above the ball. Has nothing to do with that. And it's in there regarding that. And that's one that all parents always yell at. Why didn't you call it? What am I going to call it? It's a high dribble. It's not a carry. He didn't go here. So when light is on the palm, that's carry. Behind the back, if you technically look at it, they're carrying. They're going from one end to the other end to get it here. They're not dribbling. If you're a dribbler, you know you're going to be bouncing it off the floor to get it back the other way. You're not going to carry it. So those are little things that we talk about, and I do that with parents. As they always ask me when I say, what question do you have? These are some of the things that come up regarding that. Simple and easy. Things that could keep you out of trouble, yet it could get you in trouble elsewhere. Maybe. Is your nose. I never tell you enough. That's why during the game we had. As John said, I've done all levels. I've done from the recreation 5-year-olds to I spent 3 years with the NBA. And that's when I had to move to the mainland because they said you cannot be part of us unless you move to the continental United States. So back in 78, I decided that I was gonna move. So I was with them 78, 79, and 80. And then I went back to I was still working some college games too back then. I was with 5 associations on the West Coast. Most of you guys might not know Pac-8. Some guys know. It was Pac-8 then, not Pac-12 now. It was the PCAA, which is the Big West now. Okay, the West Coast Conference and the WAC regarding that. So I've had my share, and I've had a lot of teachers, a lot of teachers. Some of the best in the country that referee major college basketball are my supporters. I sit in the stands in the summer at major summer tournaments, not only watching officials, but talking to coaches. Finding out what makes them tick. So I know how to handle a coach at a certain time. Louie Fuentes was my number one guy I talked to in Southern California at the Tournament of Champions. He was always there trying to look at the best kids in the state. So he was my major ear guy I listened to. When I go to tournaments, I sit behind certain coaches that go nuts, what make them go nuts. So I try to identify that. Everything I do, and one thing Louie Fuentes said was, do you understand the game? Do you understand it? Not the rule book. Do you understand the game? So that you can referee the game with the rules, not the rules to the game. And that's what a lot of people miss because they're so busy worrying about the rules. Worry about the game. That's straight from some of the best coaches I talked to in the country. So I've always learned the game. And I'll go sometime and find out what their offense is so I know, okay, there's going to be screening, so I'm going to be aware of what the screening is going to happen, where it's coming from. I want to know what's happening before it happens. And that's what takes you to be on the floor. Rule book is good to know, good to understand, good to have, but then when you get to the floor, you got the game. That's a different thing from the book. One of the quotes that I use to coaches that they always say, Louie, how can you do that? Oh, it's easy, 2-4. Let him go look what 2-4 is. Anybody know it? Well, I think they changed it. It might be 2-6 now. But there's things I do on the floor covers me with that. The elastic powers of an official not covered in the rule book. And that is with me every game. Because there's going to be situations or things I'm going to do to make sure that game goes through. That I understand and the coach is going to understand. Fuzzy Richards, many moons ago, I was watching his game and he did something. I went, gee, I better find out why he did that. Well, he took 2 guys, he told them, you guys are going to sit down, take a break. You're not thrown out, but take a break. So I asked Fuzzy, what was that all about? He said, let the coaches talk to him. You don't want to lose the players in the game. You want to make sure that they understand that they belong on the floor. So I did it one time myself. I said, okay, what's going to happen here? I sat down 2 of the best guards in the state. I told them, you guys are taking a break. Because they were getting nuts. Their attitudes was being bad. They were getting, their physicality was not within basketball. So it was time for them to take a break. So I set them down. I told the coaches, you talk to them, get them ready to play, and then bring them back. There's no double foul, no technical foul, no nothing. On the 2-4, that was my decision. That's what I learned from Fuzzy Richards. Now, somebody else will say, well, I cannot do that. Only you can do that, Louie. No, you haven't tried it yet. And if it works for you, you have it in your back pocket. If it doesn't work, don't throw it away. Find out what you need to do with that to fit your way of refereeing. What can I do to change it but yet work for me? There's ways of doing it. You just got to put it to you, not to anybody else. So I had to do it my own way. But everything that I do on the floor now, everybody says, well, I cannot do that. Yeah, you can. You just haven't tried it yet. File it, understand when you can use it, and do what you need to do. It's all there. It's all there in front of you. Take the rule book, read it, understand it, throw it away. Now referee basketball. We did that in Orange County. We had a guy strictly by the rules.
Oh, I was trying to think of his name.
Strictly by the rules. So myself and this other guy who was a college official also was working a high school game. So we sat down and Goose reaches in his bag and the guy said, Todd, I forget his name. Anyway, he's sitting down and he's going, okay, this is what's gonna happen. He reaches in the rule book, he tears the rule book up, and he throws it away, and he said, no rules tonight, you're gonna referee basketball. He was already going, yeah, you're gonna referee basketball tonight. You know the game. So he did. He did a pretty good job without the rule book.
Ron.
He understands. Ron.
He's the guy that got me at a evaluation when I called a block or a charge. He goes, what do you have? And I used the phrase, didn't get there in time. And guess who was a JV official for another year? And every year after that, he would ask me that rule. You know, didn't obtain legal guarding position. Every time he saw me for the remainder of my career, that he would always ask me what that rule was.
Remember these. Remember it and take it at wherever you're at, even in baseball. Okay? 4 things. 4 P's. It's 4 P's. Just think about it, okay? Your presence on the floor. Your presence on the floor. Not what you look like, but your presence on the floor. Okay? How you walk, how you do things. Number 2, position. Your position is totally different from anybody in the stands. It's what your position is, the best position you can get to make that next call. The third one is poise. When things start getting crazy, are you poised enough to deal with whatever you got to deal with? I'll put out a fire, I don't care. I'll put out a fire if I need to, in a game, and take control of it, and have the poise to handle it. And the last one, if you don't have this, you might want to think about changing the sport. You need to have personality. If you don't have personality, it's going to make it tough. Because your personality covers the other 3. How you handle yourself on the floor, with the way you talk to players, the talk to coaches, your personality makes a big deal. And that's understandable because you watch some of the guys that can handle things. Their personality makes a big deal. I tell the girls in our association from Southern California, and we had 2 girls that went to major college and WNBA.
Shelly Nakasone.
Shelly and
Still
Marianne
working.
Carp.
Marianne Carp. Marianne Carp was like a mentor to me.
When they used to go games, and I used to sit in the stand, top row somewhere behind the newspaper, until they started the game, I'd ask them, what the hell is this? I found out that this means when they look at each other, Louie would say 1001. 1001. Because if there's contact 1001, that's how much time you should at least have a pause to make a decision if the contact was incidental or advantage taken. You have contact, you lose the ball, automatic, advantage taken. Contact dribbles away from the play and continues, forget the mosquito. It's something that comes within you that you gotta identify. I tell younger referees just starting, referee as you play. And you played before? So referee like you play. If you think that was a foul, call it. Call it. Referee like you play.
Excuse me, Ramel, Louie. Oh. Ramel, grab a flyer. That's the guy who handled the fight. Well.
So all young guys that I deal with, and I've dealt with guys for 59 years or whatever, referee as you play. If you think it's a foul, call it. You can make your adjustments, your decisions as you go. I always tell the guys, whistle 1001 and then do your call. Don't just call it and then lose yourself. 1001. Now I tell the guys, if you cannot go up, why can't you go up? You got a broken arm? You had a broken arm before? I can understand that. I cannot go up this side because I had cancer and I lost a nerve, so I cannot go up all the way. My three-point sign is here. It doesn't go above my head because I can't go high. So I always ask the guys, did you broke your arm before? Did you do something? Because that tells me why you cannot go up. And now, watching him as he works. I understand that, so I don't worry about that. I gotta know my officials, what makes you tick on the floor. Me as an observer, when you make a call, that's your call, not mine. I'm not in your head looking through your eyes at the same play that you're calling. You might have seen something that you made a decision and you're gonna pass on it, or whatever you're gonna do. So, whether it's a block charge or not, I'm not gonna say, oh, that was a lousy call. I don't know, I'm not in your head. I cannot look through your eyes to see the exact play that you're calling. Now, I might say, what did you see? You explain to me, and then I'll make the adjustments on maybe you want to do this. I was watching a couple of people on the screen, basket, say the fans of basket, okay? I'm the lead. Volleyball line coming down, out of bounds, out of the paint, off the paint. I'm squaring up here. Reason? I got a view of everybody in the room. I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing. I know what my partners are doing. If I work with you, in the first 2 minutes, I know what you're going to be calling the rest of the game. That's my job, to know what my partners are doing. So if I see you call travels, then I know you're paying attention. And I will make the adjustments with you on the floor. I'll tell you something. How you stand. You stand flat-footed and straight there. If I'm standing like this, I'm not in the good presentation, I would say, of an official. What do I look like? I want to stand straight up and I want to stagger. Now I'm ready to go anywhere. When I report, I tell the young guys, when you report, stagger, push. That changes your whole outlook on the floor of being pushed. Or no say nothing and just do this. I gotta push. So I'm stepping into whatever I do. Same with the block. If I'm gonna go block, I'm gonna go 2 or 3 times. I'm not just gonna go 1. Everybody in blind man in the top row is gonna know I had a block. Then I got like a big Portuguese mount, so it doesn't matter. Who's the youngest here? You? In referee years? You would be the youngest, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Who's the oldest in years? How many years?
Oldest? I'm pal, so.
I've been since.
What you got, Nate?
Nate would be the oldest, yeah.
21.
71.
No, it's not in referee years.
Oh, 20.
Not age. I got you thinking anyway.
1995.
I think Nate's the oldest right now.
27. 27 years?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of experience on the floor.
Yes.
He asked me to say something about the state tournament. I hate the procedure they have in a state tournament. That's why I'm not on the committee, because they hate me. That's honest. They don't want me to be part of the committee. Because I will do things that they are so against. You can tell me that the 3 guys that work Sino Lahaina, what's the biggest boys game? Lahaina, or Baldwin.
Baldwin.
Okay. You tell me those 3 guys that work in that game cannot go to Oahu and work from Kamehameha Puno? BS, they can't. They're just too afraid to do it. They're just too afraid to do it. You mean the 3 guys that work the Konowaina Waikea game in women's can work the Puno girls and Marino? BS. You can work that game, you can work this game here, you can work anything there. But they're afraid to do it. Why? I don't know. The cowards. But that's the way it is. Okay? That's why I'm not on the committee, because I tell them, you need neutral officials in the game. The best that you can in your bigger games, you need neutral officials. And that's something I learned in California.
What do you mean by a neutral official?
Meaning that if Maui's playing, or Puno, say, take this, 2 Oahu schools playing, then no Oahu officials should be working the game. The best from Hilo or Big Island, the best from Maui should be on the game. That's what should be. Okay? Now, if you got ILH and say Maui playing in a championship game, then both leagues are out. 2 other leagues go. OIA and BIF. Neutral officials. It should be that. 2 reasons I found out, and that was through California. You don't have to worry about the coaches. You do your game. You're not going to be doing the game, and then all of a sudden there's a call that you make that they're going to feel bad about. You're going to see them next year in the season, and what's the first thing he's going to tell you? What happened? You don't need that. Neutral officials will deal with the games. That's been me. That's why I'm no longer the commissioner for OIA, because I would do things that some of the other guys don't like. Oh well. We live, we move on. But going back to basketball, you guys have anything that you get in the back of your mind that you want to say about what you can do?
Let's kill the clones.
As John stated, some of the things there, what I teach is what I learned through the best guys that I've been with. For the older guys, the people I work with and learn from, Bob Harrell, Booker Turner, Herb Brown, these are the top officials in the country. We're the top officials in the country. And I would pick their brain, watch what they do, and take the best I can from them. And that's what you guys need to do. Not only here, when you're watching TV, if you're watching a college game on TV or a high school game on TV, you can see the worst, or not the best that they are, but what mistakes they make, so you know what to do next. Understand the mistakes that might be made. We don't ever miss a call. We don't. Because everybody else's thinking is not our thinking. What you might let go is because you felt it wasn't good enough to call. Somebody else might think differently. Who cares? It's your game. It's your game. Be able to explain yourself when you need to. A couple of things that I was laughing at on the plane, on things that I had to go through myself, is inverted whistle. What do you do when you get an inverted whistle? Nate, what do you do?
I'll stop the play and talk to my partners and get the thing straight, whatever is in question.
Anybody else? What do you do on an inverted whistle?
Eat it, you put the ball back in play.
Okay?
Say my bad, see, started out.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. And I know it's a mistake. I want to hit it again, hard. I'm going to find that towel on the floor, get the towel, wipe off the wet spot. I don't know where the wet spot is, but I want to make it get off of me to something else. Towels are our best friend on the floor. You still, they don't know you make a mistake.
Nice.
So why make it you look worse by, oh, it's just something. I tell all the guys the same thing. Some guys are using it because they don't want to look bad again by making a second whistle.
That's a great.
Coach is going, I need to talk to you. Every coach says that, right? I need to talk to you. I got a question for you. I'll be right back. Go, do what you gotta do. Come back later. Coach, what do you want? He's already forgotten what he wants to talk to you about. I'll be right back. I don't care. I might not be back, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna continue refereeing.
Oh,
It's just that.
I'm gonna interrupt. I watched him do that in a game once, and he said, "I'll be right back." And when he came back, he teed the guy up for mouthing off or something. But he let the layup go. Somebody was on a fast break, so he didn't want to blow it and kill the basket. He said, "I'll be right back." Boop.
I'm still not sure, but it used to be 2-4. It could be 2-6 or 2-5, somewhere in the book yet. I haven't gone back and looked at it. That tells you how much I look at the rule book. Okay? But 2-4, elastic power is covered by the official, not in the rule book. Okay? I use that quote of a rule to coaches at times when they are asking way too much. I'll be right back, but check 2-4, and I go referee. Only one coach ever went to the rule book to find out what that was. And that was Marino. Okay? Chico.
2-3.
Chico's the only coach that I know today used to take the exam with the association. So he knows the rules. So you go quote him a rule, he's gonna look it up. So he did. And I came back and I seen him a year or two later. Oh, I still remember 2-4. But that's the other side of the game regarding that. Find something that will help you handle whatever situation it is. How many know Haskins from Texas El Paso? They used to call him the Bear. Okay. Haskins would eat you up, chew you up, whatever, and spit you out. So now you're in his arena, 10,000 people, and he goes, I want to talk to you. Me? Yeah, I want to talk to you, Louie. No. Sylvester's right by you. Talk to him. At that time, something in the back of my head was from Irv Brown. Don't let the coach show you up in front of his fans. So I stayed where I was. I didn't go to him. So later on, the ball went by him, and I had to be right by him. I said, what do you got to say now? He forgot what he was going to talk about again. But I remember that by just not going there. 10,000 people, I go to you, and then everybody goes, oh look, Coach Haskins got the referee in his pocket again. I didn't want 10,000 people going through that route. Now, after the game, he ran into the locker room. Not for me, for my partner. He was in the shower. But the only problem with him, he wore a toupee, so he didn't have it on. So Coach came in and said, where's Trinken? Where's Trinken at? Oh, he left already, Coach. He was showering. Things that we do, we just go nuts regarding that. But these are quick 3 tips on just dealing with everyday game. Quoting a coach, I'll be right back, or the towel. My best friend, the towel. So those should keep you out of trouble. Posture-wise, I watch young officials, and I want to know how you're standing, how you present yourself with your calls, how you handle yourself on the call, if you're going to go one hand, or some guys go 2 hand, which is not supposed to. So it's all 1 hand. So I'll correct you. How you stand, I'll change you just so that your presentation on the floor as yourself changes. So that you grow with that. Now you look stronger. Never flat-footed. Stagger. Be ready to go. You don't have to move that much. All you can do is back up and look in. When I say square up to the rim, and that rim here, I'm squaring up. I got 10 people there. Ball goes to my left, I'm backing out. I still got the view I want. Come back in, I gotta come back in. Come back out. Ball drops, 3-point line. Free throw line. Here to here, because now that's my responsibility. Whether it's 2-man, 3-man, or whatever, that's my responsibility. Turn, ball goes back out, go back to the rim. Square up. I got everybody. That triangle grows, widens as you back up. You don't want to be in a paint area. You want to be just a little outside. Volleyball line, here. When I run down to that spot. I don't go in because I got to come back out. Why am I going in to come back out? I can come here, I can see, then I can make my adjustment on what you got to do. Simple things that was all told to me before. And I looked at it, watched films, and see how people move. I learned from their mistakes on what not to do. We had a play shown where a guy got wiped out under the basket. Why were you there? The police coming. Why you want to go here? A broken leg, no more basketball. Or you hurt yourself or your job, and now that's something. Coming down to the point where you see everything and back out. Don't go to the key. Never go into the key. Volleyball line, I stop, adjust. Nothing happened, stay home. Stay home.